Are you flexible in your schedule? What goes through your mind when you don't want to run? Ooh, that is a good question, Camilla. Thank you for that one. Am I flexible in my schedule? Mostly, yes. However, I will say that sometimes I have in my mind that I want to do a certain thing, and I feel like the world tries to tell me this is not the day to do that, but I've got it set and I try and do it, and it usually goes horribly wrong. Or maybe on that day, I will ask Steve what I should be doing or what workout he thinks I should be doing, and he'll give me an answer. And somewhere in my gut, it says, nope, not that. And I'll do it or I'll start it and something goes wrong. I'm not saying like I'm struggling and I'm like I can't do this, but like the soles of my feet will start burning or like I'll start chafing somewhere. Something happens. I feel like a lot of the time we know in our gut when we shouldn't be doing something or when it just doesn't sit right to do something. And today is one of those days. I ran yesterday for a short run and I intended on running today. But there's something in me that's saying don't. And that's the tricky part is how do you know the difference between when it's your gut telling you like you need rest or it's okay to rest versus you want to push through sometimes, right? Running is inherently difficult and has discomfort. And if we, especially if we're training for a race and we keep there's that thought that goes through that says, I don't know. If you listen to that every time, you'd never be ready. And not only would you be kicking yourself in the race, but you're not doing yourself justice. You're not giving running the respect it deserves. So that I think is the difficult part. But I think the best answer to that, especially if you're training for a race, but you have that gut feeling anyway, is to put on your running clothes and head out the door for 10 minutes. If after 10 minutes you still have that gut feeling of, I don't know, something feels off, go home. But if you get to that 10 minutes and you're like, I'm out here, I feel okay now, then that's great. Go do what you need to do. Even if it's not what you're originally supposed to be doing, I would say for the most part, it is far, far better to do less than do too much and end up injured or burned out or not able to make it in the first place. I really have realized over the last few years that while training does build upon itself, I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for, especially those of us who have been running for a long time, for those years of training that have been put in. We have this like reserve tank that's been there for many years. And even if you're not doing as much training as you want to be, or could be, or should be, or whatever it may be, you can draw upon that and often surprise yourself with how well you can do. Just a few weeks ago, I ran the Skippo 30K a week after the New York City Marathon. I had not been really training very hard at all in the months before that. I'd done a few workouts, a few long runs, nowhere near as much as I thought I needed to do. But I felt so good on that day and just a week after a marathon. And I think that's because my body was still able to draw upon those previous years of fitness. And yes, I understand. I come from an elite world. My body has had a lot more training than I'd imagine many of you. But I think it implies in general that it is always better, or almost always better, to back off and do less than to push forward or to try and make up workouts. If you're sick or you get a cold and you try and you say, oh, it's day one of a cold, and you're like, oh, I can't run today. I'll do my workout tomorrow or the next day, and you squish it in there just because you don't want to like miss the schedule or you want to skip something. That is more damaging than just taking the days off and coming back and resuming where you were, even if that means a few missed things. While you may go into the race maybe slightly less fit than you intended, I personally think that's better than going in burned out, overtrained, or injured. So when I don't want to run, and I can use today as an example, when it's more of like an internal like, ugh, something's resisting within me, and I don't know what that is. If it's a day where I know I should be getting something done, but I just can't seem to get the motivation to do it, that's where that 10-minute run comes in. Now, I hope that's helpful, and I want to remind you that everyone struggles to get out the door some days. That is okay and expected. Doesn't mean that you're losing your love of the sport, doesn't mean things are over. But sometimes it's important to listen because you know you best. And while I can tell you any of these things, only you can really answer this question of, should you be getting out the door today? Should you be pushing yourself out the door? Is it a lack of motivation? Or is it that you have too much going on and your body's trying to tell you something? Only you can decide. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next time.